commemorating the United States of America's hero, Theodore Teddy Roosevelt, our 26th President of the United States. Theodore Roosevelt was known by Americans as an American hero, as an American president, as an American founder of many societies, as an American and worldwide politician, and as an American outdoorsman with a true passion for hunting and the outdoors. Theodore was born to the parents Theodore and Martha on October 27, 1858, at their home in New York City. He was part of a family of 6 with 4 children: himself, Anna, Ellie, and Kareem. On June 30th, 1880, Theodore graduated from Harvard Law School and then attended Eastern Columbia Law School in October 1880. He stopped his study in 1882 without having a degree or becoming a lawyer. On October 27, 1880, Theodore married Alice Hathaway Lee of Chestnut Hill on his 22nd birthday. And then in 1880, he joined the Republican Party. In 1882, Theodore published his first of 43 books, titled The Naval War of 1812. He wrote some of this book while he was in college. It set the standard for naval studies and strategy, and was a required read at the Naval Academy in Annapolis for many years. On August 1st, 1882, Theodore joined the United States National Guard. Commissioned as a second lieutenant in B Company for New York's 8th Regiment, he was later promoted to a captain the following year. Between 1883 and 1884, Theodore established 2 cattle ranches, the Maltese Cross and the Elkhorn, in the Dakota Territories. On February 14, 1884, a double tragedy struck Theodore's life. Both his mother and Alice passed away. On December 2, 1886, Theodore married Edith Caro in London. Theodore and Edith had 5 children: Theodore, 1887, Herman, 1889, Ethel, 1891, Archibald, 1894, and Quentin, 1890. In 1889, Theodore wrote the first 2 volumes of The Winning of the West. 2 more volumes were published later in history in 1894 and 1896. On May 6, 1895, Theodore was elected the president of the Board of Police Commissioners in New York City. Later that year, on April 19th, he was appointed the Assistant Secretary of the Navy by President William McKinley. In 1898, Theodore served with the Rough Riders during the Spanish-American War. He was lieutenant colonel, but later promoted to a colonel of the regiment before the Battle of San Juan Heights. Later in 1898, he was nominated for the Republican Party for governor by the state of New York. Later that year, on October 5th, he opened his campaign at the Carnegie Music Hall with a speech called The Duties of a Great Nation. On December 31st, TR took oath as the governor of New York before Secretary of State John Palmer. In 1898, Theodore published yet another book called The Rough Riders. Its first installment appeared in Scribner's in January. On November 6, 1900, Theodore Roosevelt was elected the vice president under President William McKinley. 1 year later, on September 14th, Roosevelt became the 26th President of the United States and was sworn into office at the Ashley Wilcox Mansion. On May 22, 1902, Crater Lake National Park in Oregon was established. Along with this park, Theodore Roosevelt also established Wind Cave National Park in South Dakota in 1903, Sully's Hill in North Dakota, 1904, Platte National Park, Oklahoma, 1906, and Mesa Verde National Park, Colorado, 1906. On June 17, 1902, the New Lands Reclamation Act signed by Theodore Roosevelt led to the 21st Federal Irrigation Project, including the Theodore Roosevelt Dam, located in Arizona. On October 15, 1902, Theodore Roosevelt settled coal strike disputes. On March 14, 1903, Theodore proclaimed Pelican Island in Florida as the first federal bird reservation. There are now a total of 51 bird reservations established by Roosevelt. Later in March 1903, Theodore Roosevelt also settled the Alaskan boundary dispute. On November 18, 1903, a treaty was signed with Panama for the building of the Panama Canal, which was completed in 1914. One of Theodore's famous quotes goes as follows: "Panama declared itself independent and wanted to complete the Panama Canal and open negotiations with us. I had 2 courses open. I might have taken the matter under advisement and put it before the Senate, in which case we should have had a number of most able speeches on this subject, and they would have been going on for now. On November 8, 1904, Theodore was re-elected president over Democrat Alton B. Parker. On June 2, 1905, Wichita Forest in Oklahoma became the first federal game preserve. On June 8, 1906, the National Monuments Act was signed by Theodore Roosevelt, and he established the first 18 national monuments, which included Devil's Tower in 1906, Muir Woods in 1908, the Grand Canyon in 1908, and Mount Olympus in 1909. He is also featured on Mount Rushmore, with his face carved in the mountain. On June 30, 1906, Theodore Roosevelt also signed the Pure Food and Drug Act as well as the Federal Meat Inspection Law. On December 10, 1906, Theodore Roosevelt was nominated and awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for ending the Russo-Japanese War in 1905. He was the first American to win the Nobel Peace Prize in any of the 6 categories. Theodore Roosevelt received the award from all Europe in 1910. On December 16, 1907, Theodore joined the voyage of the Great White Fleet around the world. On June 8, 1908, Theodore appointed a National Conservation Commission to prepare the first inventory of national resources. From March 1909 to June 1910, Theodore led both a hunting expedition to Africa to gather specimens for an institution, the Sun Herman, and then toured Europe. On October 14, 1912, Theodore was shot in the chest while entering an automobile outside the Hotel Gilpatrick in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, by would-be assassin John Pack at about 8 p.m. Theodore was campaigning on the Bolton's ticket. Theodore gave the 90-minute speech at the auditorium before seeking medical attention. The bullet holes were near his body. Rough Riders, African Game Trail, Winning of the West, Conservation Heroes, and his most famous book, Theodore Roosevelt, an Autobiography. In February of 1917, Theodore asked President Roosevelt permission to join the Volunteer Division for service in France in World War I. On May 19 of 1917, Wilson refused Roosevelt's servant's request. On January 6, 1919, Theodore died in his sleep at his home in Sagamore Hill. This was due to a blood clot in one of his arteries. He died at age 60. Theodore will always be remembered to our nation as a hero, as a political icon, as an American,